The Galactic Council met once every 100 years. Ships from across the galaxy arrived, big and bright, each one louder than the last. Blue fire jets, glowing shields, flags waving in space. It was a show of power, pride, and culture. Each alien race wanted to prove they were important. The Council's meeting hall was the size of a moon. It floated in deep space between no worlds so that no race could claim it. Guards in gold armor stood at every gate. Inside, the council chamber buzzed with voices, laughter, and arguments. Then, silence. A small gray ship entered the system. It had no colors, no weapons showing, and no banners. It made no sound except the soft hum of its engine. No music played, no speeches came from its speakers. Just a name flashed on the screen: Earth Delegation. Aliens turned to look. Many had never seen a human before, the few who had whispered to others. The humans were new to the galaxy, just 300 years of space travel, while others had traveled for thousands. They had no empire, no colonies, no rich planets. And yet, they walked into the chamber like they owned nothing, but feared nothing. The human team was small, only 5 members, no bodyguards, no gifts. Just plain gray uniforms, simple handshakes, and calm faces. They sat in silence while others argued about trade, territory, and taxes. When it was the human turn to speak, their ambassador stood up slowly. She was tall, with gray eyes and short black hair. "We come in peace," she said. "We ask for nothing." Gasps filled the chamber. The Larnaki ambassador, covered in golden feathers, blinked twice. "Nothing?" he asked. "No trade agreements? No defense pacts? No seat on the council?" The human nodded. "Nothing." The whispers began. No one could understand it. Every race asked for something. It was the way of the galaxy. Power, land, weapons, allies. These were normal requests. But the humans? They wanted nothing. In the halls after the meeting, aliens gathered in small groups. "What are they hiding?" one asked. "Are they weak or too strong?" another whispered. "Why would they come all this way and ask for nothing?" Zern, a young spy from the Wreath species, had been sent to study the humans. His skin was green and smooth, and his large eyes could see in the dark. He had never seen anything like this before. His leaders told him to watch them closely. He followed the humans to their ship, hidden in the shadows. But the humans did nothing. Strange. They talked quietly, looked at star maps, and drank water. They laughed sometimes. One played a soft tune on a small music device. It was calm. Too calm. Inside their ship, however, something was not calm. Behind locked doors, machines buzzed. Data flashed on screens. War records, black hole locations, energy readings from dying stars. The humans were studying everything and everyone, but they said nothing. That night, the human ship moved closer, to the edge of the meeting station. No rules were broken, but it made others nervous. Zern snuck closer, trying to hear what they were saying. He climbed under the ship's docking arm, pressed his ear to a pipe, and listened. "We need more time," a human voice said. "They're not ready," another voice replied. "Then we stay silent. The storm hasn't reached them yet." Zern's heart raced. What storm? Were they talking about war or something worse? The next day, the human ambassador gave a short message before leaving. "We ask for nothing," she said again. "But remember, silence is not weakness. Sometimes it is warning." Then they left, just like that. The small gray ship rose into space, turned without a word, and disappeared into the stars. The council didn't know what to do. Some laughed it off. "Just humans being strange," they said. Others didn't sleep that night. They remembered the look in the humans' eyes, calm but watchful, kind but heavy, as if they had seen something terrible. Zern returned to his leaders and told them everything, but even he couldn't explain the feeling he had in his chest. Not fear, exactly. Something colder, like standing still before a great wave. The humans had asked for nothing, and that somehow meant everything. The human ship left the council meeting without a word. No deals, no goodbye message, just silence. Other species returned to their own planets, but they could not stop thinking about the humans. Something felt wrong. The Valari, who were good at sensing danger, felt uneasy. The Tharn, masters of war, watched the meeting again and again. Even the calm and peaceful Rayari sent their thinkers to study the human behavior. Why would a young race like Earth come all the way to the Council and ask for nothing? Across the galaxy, governments held secret meetings. The humans were not acting normal. Some said they were weak and afraid to ask for help. Others believed the opposite, that humans were hiding something powerful. The Wreath spy, Zern, who had followed the humans at the meeting, was sent again. This time, not alone. Spies, drones, and hidden satellites from many races started to follow. Every human ship they could find. Every movement was recorded. Every conversation was studied. But the humans didn't seem to care. They smiled. They shared food with strangers. They helped fix broken ships and gave directions in space. They acted like nothing was wrong. But there was something strange. The humans were everywhere. Not in large numbers, but in quiet places, old spaceports, dead planets, lonely moons. They mapped empty systems with no resources. They scanned black holes and strange stars. They asked old AI machines about ancient wars, and then there was their silence. They did not talk much. They did not try to make deals or build an empire. Instead, they listened. They watched. One day, Zurn followed a human ship to an old war zone, Sector 9J, where a great battle had taken place 1,000 years ago. The Bia place was still dangerous. Broken ships floated like ghosts. Radiation storms made flying risky. No one went there. No one. Except the humans. The human ship landed on a dead planet in the center of the battlefield. Zurn, hidden inside a small stealth pod, watched them from above. He saw them walk to a crater and place a strange box on the ground. The box opened, and a blue light rose into the sky. A voice spoke from the box, old, sad, and human. It said, "We remember those who fought here. We remember what was lost. We are still watching." Then the box shut down. The humans stood in silence for 1 full minute. No talking, no movement, just silence. Zurn recorded everything. He sent it to his leaders. The video shocked them. The humans were not just studying the galaxy. They were remembering something the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. Later, another spy ship, this time from the Keylor, got too close to a human research station. It was caught. The humans didn't attack. They didn't shout. Instead, they invited the Keylor pilot inside, gave him food, let him leave without asking for anything, but before the pilot left, a human handed him a small data crystal. "No secrets," the human said. "You were going to find this anyway. We want you to understand." Back on the Keylor homeworld, scientists opened the crystal. It contained files from over 12,000 years ago, files that were lost in every known galactic record. The files showed a war, a big one, not between two races, but between the galaxy and something else, something dark. A shadow race with no name, no home planet, and no peace. The crystal showed human ships fighting them, ancient ships from a time when the rest of the galaxy had not even discovered space. The humans were different back then. Fewer in number, more desperate, but strong, brave, and they had won, or maybe delayed the enemy. The ending was not clear. The Keylor leaders were shocked. "Is this real?" they asked. "How did the humans have this?" No one knew. But now more questions rose. Why were the humans looking at black holes? Why did they study only war records? Why did they place memory boxes on dead battlefields? Some believed the humans were preparing for something. Others said they already knew what was coming. Across the galaxy, silent messages moved through the stars. "Watch the humans," they said. "Something is not right." But the humans, they just kept watching, and someone or something was watching them back. The galaxy was uneasy. After the meeting, after the gift of the old war files, many alien governments tried to stay calm. But fear had started to grow. The humans had said nothing, and now it seemed they knew everything. The files from the data, crystals spread in secret. Scientists across the galaxy studied the videos, maps, and voice logs. The war shown in the files was older than any history book, older than any memory. But there it was, burning planets, empty systems, dying stars. A war against a nameless enemy, something fast, dark, and hungry. Not a race that wanted land or power, just destruction, just silence. In the recordings, human ships fought side by side with strange allies, species that no longer existed. The logs spoke of final battles, retreating fleets, and one last message sent from Earth to the stars. We will hold the line. But after that, nothing. No more records, no victory, no defeat. Just silence. The Kalor, the Valari, the Wreath, even the cold-eyed Tharn all began to wonder. Had the humans been the last ones standing? Were they the reason the galaxy had survived? And if so, why had they never said a word? On Earth, the human leaders met in hidden places. They did not speak to the council. They did not share the rest of their records. They waited, watched, prepared. In an underground city beneath Antarctica, a group of humans stood before a screen. A strange wave of energy had passed through a distant star system, wiping out all communication. Satellites went silent. Probes disappeared. One woman, a general named Rhea, looked at the screen. "It's starting," she said. On a small planet in Sector 22K, a Wreath patrol ship found something terrible. A station floating near a black hole covered in strange symbols. The crew boarded it. Inside, they found no one alive. Just black dust, frozen in time. But something else was there too. A symbol burned into the wall. A circle with 3 slashes across it. The same symbol seen in the human war files. The Wreath sent a message to Earth. Humans responded in seconds. "We know," they said. "Don't go near it again." The message was short, cold, clear. For the first time, the Wreath were afraid. On another side of the galaxy, a Valari explorer found an old satellite from Earth. It was quiet, dead. But when they brought it back to their lab, it turned on. A voice spoke. "If you are hearing this, then the darkness is near." The satellite showed star charts, warnings, old enemy movement patterns. It had been floating alone for hundreds of years, just waiting for someone to find it, waiting for the enemy to return. One Valari scientist cried. "Why didn't they warn us sooner?" she asked. Another whispered, "Maybe they tried. Maybe no one listened." As more ancient human files appeared, a new picture formed. Long ago, the galaxy had faced a nightmare. The enemy had no name, no face, just death. Most races fell. Planets burned. Moons cracked in half. But humans had survived. No one knew how. But they did. And now they were preparing again. They had built quiet defense stations around stars. They had trained small, elite ships that moved faster than light. They had hidden fleets under moons and inside asteroids. And they had taught every child on Earth one lesson. Silence is warning. Fear is memory. Be ready. A few brave alien leaders contacted Earth. "If this enemy is real," they said, "we want to help." The humans replied kindly. "Then start preparing your people. But do not speak of this yet. Fear will spread too fast. We have seen it happen before." "But why us?" the alien leaders asked. "Why are you the only ones who remember?" The human ambassador looked tired. Her voice was low. "Because we were left behind. Everyone else fell. Earth was the last light. And we never forgot." The aliens listened in silence. In secret, the galaxy began to prepare. Some laughed. Some called, "The story's fake, old myths, human lies." But in quiet places, weapons were tested. Ships were upgraded. Star maps were studied. The humans had not come to the council to make friends. They came to warn. And now, the galaxy was finally starting to hear them. The galaxy was changing. In secret, many species had started to prepare. They built new weapons, they trained soldiers, they studied old battle maps, but they still argued among themselves. Some believed the humans, some didn't. Many thought the warnings were just fear stories, ancient wars, dead enemies, nothing to worry about. But Earth was not waiting. Human ships moved like shadows between stars. They did not land on big planets. They went to the dark places, abandoned stations, lost moons, empty space. Everywhere they went, they placed silent machines. Some were scanners, some were defense systems, some were things no one could understand. At sea, the edge of the Orion Arm, a human station detected a signal. It was weak, broken, and old. It was the same signal found in their ancient war files, a pattern of low sound pulses, clicks and hums. The enemy was moving again. The humans didn't panic. They simply watched. A few days later, the human ambassador appeared on the screens of the Galactic Council. She did not smile. She did not bring greetings. Her face was pale, her eyes calm. "We warned you," she said. Many alien leaders sat up in their seats. "We come now not as guests, but as survivors," she continued. "Something old is coming back. It moves from the dark, corners of space. It eats light, it kills memory. And it is already here." Gasps filled the chamber. The Larnaki ambassador stood up. "What proof do you have?" The human turned her head slightly. "You will have proof in 27 hours. Then the screen went black. Across the galaxy, people waited. Some laughed, some prayed, others armed their ships. 27 hours passed. At hour 28, the star system called Ralos 3 went dark. It happened fast. A patrol station sent a single emergency message: "We see something, no light, no form, just darkness." Then silence. 2 ships were sent to check. Neither returned. Then the system's sun disappeared. Not exploded, not swallowed, just gone. Panic spread. The council called an emergency meeting. All screens showed the same thing. Ralos 3 was no longer visible. The light had vanished. The planets had stopped sending signals. It was as if the system had never existed. "What do we do?" someone cried. "Fight!" shouted a war leader. "With what?" answered another. "We don't even know what it is." Then a new message came in. "From Earth, we have seen this before. We know what to do." Ships began arriving. Not huge war fleets, but fast, sharp, silent ones. Human ships. They didn't wait for permission. They flew directly toward Ralos 3. The council was shocked. "They're going alone?" "No," said the Tharn ambassador. "They're doing what we should have done." Many aliens watched as the human fleet entered the dead zone. The blackness was real. No stars, no signals, no sound. But the human ships kept moving. One by one, they vanished into the dark. For hours, nothing happened. Then, light. A small burst. A human ship came back, damaged but alive. Inside, a recording played. Flashes of energy, strange moving shapes, and a cold voice speaking in a language no one understood. But the humans understood. They decoded it. The message said only one thing: "We have returned." The council fell silent. The human ambassador spoke again. "We will not ask for help. We came here to warn you. We hoped we were wrong, but we are not. It has begun." "Can we stop them?" asked the Valari leader. "Yes," said the human, "but not alone, and not without sacrifice." A new plan began. Human trainers taught alien forces how to fight in silence, how to use light-based weapons, how to escape gravitational traps. Old fear became new strength. Races that once fought each other now trained side by side. Still, not everyone believed. Some worlds closed their borders. Some called it human lies. They said the enemy was made up, a trick, a story to gain power. The humans didn't argue. They just kept preparing and waiting. Earth's skies filled with quiet fleets. Moon bases glowed with energy. Stations deep under oceans checked sensors every second. Every child knew the drills. Every city had shelters. No one panicked because Earth remembered what the rest of the galaxy had forgotten. The enemy was not coming. It was already here. The dark returned. After the fall of Ralos III, the galaxy was no longer the same. Fear had become real. Thousands of ships began to move, some to run, some to fight. But many just froze, waiting to see what would happen next. Earth did not wait. Foffer. Humans had been preparing for generations. Now they activated old codes. Fleets hidden deep in asteroid belts came online. Sleepers, special ships without crew run by quiet AIs, woke up. Silent weapons charged. On the moon Europa, deep under the ice, a human command center opened. Generals stood before giant screens. Lights blinked red. The enemy had moved again. Another system, Darka 5, was now silent. No sun, no signals, just darkness. Human scouts were already there watching from the edge. Their reports were the same. The blackness moved like a wave. It did not fly, it spread. Like a disease in space. It ate light. It pulled gravity the wrong way. It whispered strange sounds across deep space frequencies. Then, without warning, it struck. A human scout ship, HS-17, was closest to the edge. It had no weapons, only scanners and data tools. It was caught. The last message from the ship was short. "They are aware of us. They are hunting. Tell Earth it's learning." The signal cut out. Earth responded in minutes. It was time. Operation Night Shield began. For the first time in thousands of years, the human fleet went to war, not to protect Earth, but to stop what was coming. Ships moved in fast waves. Not big, not slow. Sharp, fast, quiet. Designed for stealth, for quick strikes, for survival. The plan was simple. Strike the edge of the dark zone, measure the reaction, test if the enemy could be hurt. The first strike group was made of 15 ships. 5 humans, 10 from new allies, Valari, Wreath, Kalor, and even 2 Tharn war cruisers. They flew together, side by side. They reached the dark zone near Darka 5. The black space looked like smoke frozen in time. Nothing moved inside, no light escaped. But sensors screamed with warnings. Then the humans fired, not lasers, not missiles. They used pulse light bombs, weapons designed long ago during the First War. Weapons built not to destroy, but to reveal. Delegation. Darkness moved. It pulled back for a second. A shape appeared inside, a giant shadow with many arms like a spider made of smoke. It didn't roar. It didn't attack with weapons. It reached. A long black limb came out. It touched a Tharn ship. The ship didn't explode. It froze. Time around it stopped. The lights dimmed. The engines died. Inside, the crew screamed, but the sound never left the hull. The ship floated, dead and untouched. The others fired again. More light, more pulse bombs. The shadow pulled away. It had been hurt. Not much, but enough. The message was clear. It could bleed. The fleet returned, minus 1 ship. The Tharn were silent. Their war leaders bowed their heads in respect. Earth sent a message to the Council. The first strike is complete. It is real. It can be fought, but not alone. This is not a human war. This is a survival war. Choose your side. Now the galaxy had no choice. Many planets joined Earth. Others still waited, still doubted, but most now believed. Across space, new weapons were built. Defense rings around stars, warning systems on moons, training centers filled with mixed crews, humans and aliens learning together. The enemy did not strike again for 7 days, 7 days of silence, 7 days of fear, and on the 8th day, the stars flickered. Not one, not two, hundreds. Systems. Across the galaxy went dark. The wave had begun. Not slow, not one at a time, but everywhere. Now the war was not near. It was here. The wave had started. One by one, star systems went dark. The enemy didn't fire weapons. It didn't land on planets or send soldiers. It just came, like a shadow that swallowed everything. Lights went out. Ships vanished. Planets became silent. At first, many thought Earth would lead the defense. That the humans would guide every step, show the galaxy how to survive. But Earth had other plans. The human fleet spread out. They didn't stay close to home. They went far, to the edges of known space, to places no other race dared to go. They placed warning beacons. They evacuated small colonies. They moved fast and quiet, always watching. And then Earth did something no one expected. They turned off their signals. The Council lost contact. Alien leaders were shocked. Some felt angry. Some felt afraid. "Why would Earth go silent now?" asked the Kalor speaker. "Are they giving up?" the Tharn general growled. But the Valari priestess shook her head. "No, they're doing what they've done before. They are hiding, preparing." Inside Earth's command centers, things were not quiet. Far below the surface, in deep bunkers, thousands of people worked around the clock. Generals, scientists, engineers, even children, all doing their part. Earth was not waiting for help. They knew help might not come. Above Earth, defense satellites turned toward the stars. The moon bases powered up their shields. Even Mars now, home to millions, prepared its last resort escape tunnels. Earth knew what was coming, and they knew they might face it alone. In the darkness between stars, the enemy moved. They had no ships, no voices, no leaders, but they learned. Every battle taught them something new. When they faced lasers, they adapted. When light weapons hit them, they changed their shape. When ships escaped them, they tracked the energy trails. They were not machines. They were not alive in the normal way. They were hunger. One human scientist called them the Starless. The name spread quickly. Back on Earth, General Rhea stood before her team. "The Starless are not a war, they are a test," she said. "A test of who we are when everything else is gone." A young soldier asked, "What happens if no one else helps us?" Rhea didn't blink. "Then we fight alone, like before." Above Earth, small enemy signals appeared, probes, feelers. The Starless were testing defenses. The humans let them. They wanted the enemy to see, but not everything. When the first full wave came, it was not a full invasion. It was a message. Hundreds of black fragments entered the solar system. Fast, silent, each one aimed at a human satellite or station. They didn't destroy. They erased, like the targets had never been there, but Earth was ready. From hidden launch points, Earth fired its answer, light spears, sharp, focused beams of charged particles wrapped in signal breakers. The spears hit the fragments and burned them from the inside. Most were destroyed, some escaped. One reached the Earth's upper orbit. It floated there, scanning. Then it changed. It formed a shape, almost like a face. Not human, not alien, just watching. The people on the ground stared at it through screens. "It's studying us," whispered a technician. Then the shape dissolved. Gone. General Rhea gave the next order. "Begin stage 5. Earth went into full lockdown. Civilian ships were grounded. Shields rose across major cities. Farms switched to underground systems. Water and air controls were sealed. Earth did not panic, because Earth had done this before. In a secret place, below the Atlantic Ocean, a vault opened. Inside were 5 ancient ships, built long ago. Powered by cores older than human history, they had not been used in thousands of years, until now. They were called Sentinels. One by one, they rose from the sea. Across the stars, other races watched. Some felt shame. They had ignored the warnings, Others felt respect, even fear, because now they understood. Earth was not just protecting itself, Earth was protecting them all, and if Earth must stand alone, then it would. The sky was quiet, too quiet. The stars above Earth didn't blink anymore. Satellites were gone, stations were silent. The starless had reached the edge of the solar system, waiting, watching. Earth stood alone, but Earth was not afraid. From the deep oceans, the 5 Sentinel ships rose into orbit. Black, sharp, and ancient, older than any human alive. They had no names, just numbers, Sentinel 1 through 5. Each one had survived the First War. Each one carried memories older than any file. Inside Sentinel 1, General Rhea stood in. "Silence. All systems ready," her officer said. She looked at the stars. "Then it's time." The Sentinels moved fast, not toward the enemy, but around the solar system. They drew lines of light, a trap, a last defense, a ring of power, built from forgotten technology. One last wall before Earth. And then the starless came, not ships, not fleets, just shadows, 1,000 dark shapes crawling between light. Some looked like smoke, others like glass. None made sound. The first wave hit the defense line. The Sentinels reacted. They burned. Each one fired, beams of pure memory, energy shaped from the oldest codes of human survival. The shadows screamed without sound. Many turned to dust, some broke apart, but the rest pushed forward. Inside the council chambers, far across the stars, alien leaders watched. Earth had cut communications, but the Sentinels had activated an ancient beacon. A single feed, one message. We remember. Across the galaxy, people cried. They saw Earth fighting alone, and they understood. This wasn't just a human war. It never had been. The Starless had almost won long ago, but Earth had stood. Earth had hidden. Earth had remembered. And now, once more, Earth stood alone, not for glory, but for everyone. Then something happened. Help came. The first to arrive were the Valari. 3 silver ships appeared near Pluto. They said nothing. They just joined the fight. Then the Wreath. Sharp black ships with new light weapons, then the Kalor, then the Tharn. One by one, species that once feared, doubted, or ignored, returned. Each ship carried a small flag, not of their own race, but of Earth, of humanity. They remembered too. The final battle had begun. It lasted 3 days. Not all ships survived. The sky over Earth burned red, then black, then gold. Cities shook. Oceans rose and fell. The moon lost a base. Mars went quiet for hours. But Earth did not fall, because Earth had prepared, because Earth had remembered. In the final hour, the largest of the starless appeared, a shadow the size of a moon. It reached for Earth. Its limbs were thick with old metal, bones of past battles, still inside it. Then something old woke up. Sentinel 0. No one had seen it before, not even the humans. It rose from Antarctica, hidden beneath miles of ice. It didn't fly, it floated, silent, timeless. Inside it was the first code ever written after the ancient war, a message from the last human survivor of that time. If they return, we fight together, or not at all. Sentinel 0 hit the shadow with a single beam of white light. The shadow screamed. The other Sentinels followed. The alien ships fired every weapon they had, and the starless began to break. One by one, they vanished. Some exploded, others melted into light. The last one turned toward the stars and fled. The galaxy was safe. For now, Earth stood, burned, scarred, but alive. Later, the Council sent a message to Earth. "You saved us," they said. "What do you want in return?" The human ambassador answered, "Nothing." There was a pause. "Then why did you fight for us?" The ambassador smiled. "Because we remember." The camera turned. Behind her stood people from every race. Together, alive.